we don't second guess. Unapologetic, we're bold and we're loud, shining light on the left shady crowd. Oreo Express, rolling down the track, exposing the lies, ain't no turning back. Conservative fire, we're speaking the truth. At Oreo Express, this one's for you. So grab your boots, let's take a stand for freedom, faith, and the heart of this land. Oreo Express, let's roll, let's go. So grab your boots, let's take a stand for freedom, faith, and the heart of this land. Oreo Express.
Celebrate our newest launch, Rev 7. I'm bringing you an amazing introductory offer, plus an exclusive overstock sale that you're not going to want to miss. Rev 7 is our premium energy drink that tastes great and gives you energy all day with no jitters and no crashes. That's because there's no sugar and no caffeine. I'm so sure you're going to love Rev 7 that for a limited time you can try our 3-pack absolutely free. Or check out our Percale bed sheets. I can't believe I'm even going to say this. Every color, every style, every size, only $29.88. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save 20% on our Rev 7 12-packs or try our introductory 3-pack absolutely free. And our Percale bed sheets, all sizes, only $29.88, even the queens and kings. Inventory is extremely limited, so order now.
That's right, folks. Order now. Welcome. It is Tuesday, October 7th. Wow, I just seen that date and thought it's 2-year anniversary for the massacre that happened in Israel. That's crazy. Welcome back. Welcome back. Thank you for tuning in. We got a show in store for you today. We got a lot to talk about. And we got some great stuff from Trump. He's meeting with the Prime Minister of Canada right now. Just absolutely epic and hilarious from the comedian and Commander of the United States. Thank you so much for tuning in. If I could get you to hit that like button, share this out, it would be appreciated. We're also going to talk about some of the lies right now that's coming out of legacy media about the illegal aliens not receiving any health care. We're going to show you one of their old videos where they talked about in New York, how much of their hospital capacity was illegal aliens. And just kind of go through that. We also got Pam Bondi is on Capitol Hill. They are trying to grill Pam Bondi. We're going to talk about that, show you some highlights and videos from that as well. And got a little bit of announcement. We will be leaving tomorrow. If you guys weren't watching our Rumble Premium last night, I say, I'm just going to pray on it. If it works out to go to Portland, we will go. If we don't go, it wasn't meant to be. And shout out to old Uncle Bill for helping us with the rental car. So right now we got the rental car. We're picking it up today at 4:30, and then tomorrow I got what do they call that? I'm drawing a blank here. My brain's fried. Man, I hate when this happens. We're going to the pumpkin patch tomorrow with Caden and his school. Field trip. That's what I was looking for. Field trip. After that field trip, I'm going to come home. I'm going to pack up, and I'm going to start that long 12-hour journey to Portland, Oregon. We're going to cover a little bit of that today of what's going on today. Secretary Kristi Noem is down there in Portland. I believe she's already arrived. She'll be addressing the media from down there. So yeah. We're just going to pray for gas and hotel expenses, and we'll be good. We'll be good. We'll see what Portland brings us. Don't know how many days we'll be down there. Could come back Friday, could come back Saturday, Sunday, Monday. It all depends on what's going on in Portland. We could extend our trip. You know how we do it. So just a heads up and a shout out to old Uncle Bill. Thank you. Trina, hello. Darla Miller, Sugar Bear, Tarred with a hard R. Let's see who else. B. Mikey with a beautiful American flag. Who else we got in here? Kimber, Texas Bigfoot, Pixie. Don't be cussing in here, Pixie. Get on you. Nola, Blues Dude, aloha. And who else? Let me get down to the bottom. Renee O's in here. Terrifying at the same time, right? I know. Let's just pray we don't get murdered or stabbed. Let's see. Newfie's in here. Julius. You know, I didn't see JH Candy Bar all day yesterday, and I gave her I shot her an email. If you see her, you know, I didn't check my email this morning, so maybe she responded to me. It has to do with the last drawing. So if we see her, I'll hunt her out. Who do we got over here? Let me see. Donna Ralph, hello. How are you doing? I show up. Now they showing up on time. Let's see who else I got. Old Uncle Bill is in the house. He wasn't supposed to be here. He said he was taking a vacation away from me. Cheris Nova, hello. How are you doing? Let's see. And thank you guys all for tuning in. We appreciate it. Yeah, I get to go on a field trip with Caden. First field trip. So I'm excited. Gonna do that in the morning, and then we're gonna come home, pack everything up. Got a lot to pack up, going to a war zone, so you know how that is. And then we will be probably won't make it to Portland tomorrow night. We probably won't leave here till 2, so we'll probably drive about 8-10 hours, get a hotel room, and also we'll wake up in the morning and finish that trek. So Patricia Joy, good morning. So thank you. And don't forget, today is the raffle. You got this show and the beginning of the next show to get in. If you want the light up Trump hat, that's absolutely epic. I was thinking about wearing it in Portland one of the nights. Maybe not. I'm going to go down there to report, not to cause problems. But we'll see how that goes. So the White House put this out today. You guys know we're, I don't know, what is it, day 8 of a government shutdown? And I thought this was just interesting. It says it was Democrat priorities, and it's SpongeBob. And if you read it there, it says give free healthcare to illegals, and it's written over and over. And I got one. Might trigger some of you. Might lose some viewers right now. But I seen this right here. And it said USA wins. Take a look at it.
One already in the rack. Into the second wash now. The Japanese athlete keeping it tidy on the left. France just half a second back. Listen to the crowd.
I didn't even know it was a competition.
The early pace, but look at the American in lane 3. Elbows high. Wrist rotation spotless. Plate one already in the rack. Into the second wash now. The Japanese athlete keeping it tidy on the left. France just half a second back. Listen to the crowd. The early pace, but look at the American in lane 3. Elbows high. Wrist rotation spotless. Plate one already in the rack. Into the second wash now. The Japanese.
Myself, there is still good women. That's one of them. I'm sure I triggered some people. Yes, Bill, old Uncle Bill, the Zelle last night counts for the raffle. Any donations during a raffle counts for the raffle. So thank you. It was a dishwasher. There was also another one. What was the other one? Is it like laundry or something like that? And I was like,
athlete keeping it tidy on the left. France.
I was like, there is still some good women out there. You wash like that. I don't think I'll be taking the sombrero. To Portland. Would be funny though, huh? Get one of those ponchos and wear. I gotta be good. I want to get some good content. Another funny one I have to show you is this. It's how to hold a parking spot in New York City. Fairness 2020 says safe travels, Josh. Thank you, Fairness. Appreciate you. And you are also entered into the raffle for today. Take a look at this. you guys know, when we travel, we show you the zombies. Those are the people that are all fentanyled out, that are just like hanging out. I mean, these people. Oh, let's see. Another one from Fairness. Thank you so much, Fairness. Appreciate you. And old Uncle Bill gifting a subscription. Thank you. I show you these people that look like zombies, and they're like leaning over. I mean, these people can stand at like a 70-degree angle when they're on these drugs. It's just crazy. It's demonic. Check this out though. I got to pull this off the bottom. I think you guys will like this. How to hold a parking spot in New York City.
That's how you get a parking spot in New York City, guys. Just act like an American.
He says act like an American, and they're out there like zombies. Oh, man. Well, hopefully we're cleaning some of that stuff up. That would be, it's sad. It's sad. We see that a lot. We're going to see it on our trip. We might spend a little time in certain areas of Portland outside of the ICE facility, bringing you guys some videos of their encampments. There's quite a few encampments. It's crazy. Last night when we were doing the live stream, as soon as I got off, I checked to see what I missed on social media, and man, there was a helicopter crash on US Highway 50 up in Northern California, where a lot of our patriots are. Take a look at this. That's scary. Let me see if I can pull up this one. I forgot. I just remembered. I forgot there was actually a news article. I was listening to this in the morning when I'm hanging out with Caden. I have the news on, local news, so I know what's going on locally. And they were talking about this, and it sounded like that this they left a hospital. Let's see. Yeah, it says new dramatic social media video shows a Reach Air Medical Hospital crashing near Sacramento this evening. The crash occurred just after 7 p.m. this evening on the eastbound lanes of Highway 50. It said the helicopter had just lifted off from UC Davis Medical Center prior to crashing. At least 3 people were transported to the hospital. Check out this video. Oh, that's scary. Just scary. Trying to see. 3 victims from the aircraft were located in critical condition. That's just absolutely amazing that I don't see anywhere where it shows that anybody passed away, which is great news. Praise the Lord on that. That's scary. So we're going to get into a little California talk. We got a couple things to talk about in California. We know we got a lot going on here. We have one really good mayor, Billy Wells, down south, El Cajon. And he's trying to make his community safer. We actually ran into Billy Wells when we were covering the border in California. He was out there to see the border for himself because it impacts the safety of his community. It impacts the economics of his community. And he's been fighting to close the border and to put American citizens first for a long time. He issued this statement, and then we got a video from, I think it was this morning. It says, media statement. On Friday, I was notified that the state of California has decided to sue the city of El Cajon for sharing information that helps keep our community and our country safe. Let's be clear, this is nothing more than a political stunt and an attempt to bully conservative city for standing up for public safety. For years, Sacramento has looked for ways to punish cities like ours because we refuse to fall in line with their ideology. They've chosen politics over people, and now they're using the courts to intimidate those of us who disagree with them. I make no apologies for protecting our residents. The people of El Cajon expect their leaders to keep them safe, not to bow to the latest political agenda coming out of the Capitol. California priorities have become backwards, too often putting criminals before law-abiding citizens. I refuse to play a part in that. Our city's actions have always been guided by one simple principle: the safety and security of the people we serve. Sharing information with trusted law enforcement partners is a cornerstone of effective policing, and will not apologize for cooperating with agencies that help us catch criminals, prevent crime, and protect innocent lives. Instead of attacking cities that are doing their job, the Attorney General should focus on the growing crime, homelessness, and lawlessness is plaguing our state. Now, what this is referring to is California being a sanctuary state. It bans these cities from working with federal law enforcement when it comes to detaining ICE, all that. I remember a prior sheriff here in Fresno County, they would every year they would have a meeting with her and grill her to ensure she wasn't working with ICE. It was an absolute joke. Like, we could have a hardened criminal in jail, like, you name the crime, this criminal probably did it. And if she did that, she would be reprimanded for it. She would be a bad girl. Listen to this again. This is just California. This is when you're back asswards. This is what you do as a state. You put American citizens last, and that's what we've seen in the state of California. Take a quick look at this right here.
People are really worried about license plate readers because it's got a big brother effect. And I was worried about it too at one point, but then I saw the results. I mean, we had somebody come in from Phoenix who had shot and really hurt a woman in Phoenix. We got a hit on our license plate reader that he was in our city and sleeping in a parking lot. We called the Phoenix police. They said, yeah, this guy's a really bad guy, armed and dangerous, be careful. And so instead of just sending one officer to knock on the window, we sent out quite a few officers. And this guy tried to fight the officers, tried to shoot the officers. So these are things that we really need to protect our police department. Remember when Dr. Haruni was murdered in El Cajon? We used the flock license plate camera readers to find his perpetrator within a couple hours, protecting him from hurting anybody else or killing himself. So we're talking about these arcane ideas that somehow we're going to cooperate with ICE or do something like that by sharing data with other police departments. And I'm talking about real life things where our police officers might get killed and my citizens might get killed. And, and frankly, I'm not going to play that game. It's a political game and people's lives are on the line. I'm not doing it.
I can't, again, we've covered the border extensively. We've seen Democrats, want to give everything to illegals, from 4-star hotels to 3 meals a day to, what is it, $12.6 billion this year in California is what we're going to spend on healthcare for illegal aliens. And here I am sitting here where I can't even get my medicine. I would like to have health insurance. I think next month we might have a possibility of that. And I'm not even asking for anything free. I just want an affordable plan. And because we pay for so many illegals, that shoots up the cost. They don't put anything into it. And it's just becoming more and more ridiculous. And good on Billy Wells. Good on Mayor Billy Wells. That is awesome. He's a good guy. I got to have some conversation with him. How about this? This was July 31st. Speaking of Gavin Newsom, using our fire department as a prop, right? That's what he does. He goes and does these little photo ops. He has these little props. Listen to this.
Than the state of California. Those that have sacrificed and served the people of this state by being part of the world's largest civilian aerial firefighting fleet. There's simply no jurisdiction in the world that has more assets at bear, more aerial assets than the state of California.
Well, he didn't want to, that was a great photo op, but he didn't want to put his money where his mouth is. This was from October 3rd, so this was 4 days ago. This came from Office of the Governor of the state of California. This was, take a listen here. To the members of the California State Assembly, I am returning Assembly Bill 1309 without my signature. The bill would require the Department of Forestry and Fire Protection to pay firefighters within 15% of average salary for corresponding ranks in certain local fire department. This measure would also require annual survey of the salaries and benefits for fire chiefs and 5 specified fire departments. While I appreciate the author's intent, this bill would create a significant cost pressure for the state and circumvent the collective bargaining process. So they got a bill going forward that says, hey, can we give our firefighters a raise? You know, yeah, you used them. You used them for your photo ops. You put their life in danger by not managing the forest, so they're out there for months on end away from their families. Nah, for this reason, I cannot sign this bill. I mean, it's just such a hypocritical way of doing things. I also seen this video. I thought it was interesting because a Walmart employee in Covington, Washington, stole and destroyed voter signatures. So this guy was out there in his little booth collecting signatures, and it triggered a Walmart employee when he was going on to break. And so he took stuff and he destroyed them, ripped them up, which is more crimes than you think it is. It's not ripping up paper. Those are actual, it's just like if you ripped up someone's ballot, pretty much. And I want you to watch this video, and then we're going to tell you, I mean, this is horrible. Not just this. I want you to listen to the police officers and how they respond to it like it was no big deal.
This is what I recovered. I was right here. I had my canopy up, and the guy was like, hey, man, can I sign the petition? And I handed him the deck, and he just took off.
You wouldn't have to grab someone's sign and ripped it up.
We just came back from lunch.
Yeah.
Did you?
I just came back from lunch.
Okay. Well, you're being detained right now until I figure out, because you match the description.
Yep, that's you.
Okay. So, cool. Skylar, right now you're under arrest. I think what we'll do is we'll kind of put on a show. All right.
What we'll do is put on a show. Listen to him.
So I don't think we're actually going to take you physically to jail.
I don't think we're going to actually take you to county jail.
Kind of put on a show. All right. So I don't think we're actually going to take you physically to jail.
Social Security's reported. Okay, what happened?
He was out front being pretty inflammatory.
Okay.
I just didn't like that.
I think this is more.
So he was being inflammatory. He was getting people to sign some papers to put stuff on the ballot. Ballot initiatives. It happens all the time here in California. The Walmart I go to, both Walmarts. There's a Walmart Market I go to. It's less than a mile away. And then Walmart Supercenter that I'll go to. They're always out there. There's always out there. And how is that inflammatory? Again, this is the left. This is a typical liberal. But listen to this. Listen to this.
For the petition here, I think this is more for the petition here.
He says, when he's handcuffing him, he says, I think this is more for the petitioner here. Meaning the guy that called the police. We're going to do a show to make it look like we're doing something as police officers.
Hey, Luke, can you have him park, like, around
He asked the guy to leave. The person that called the police, the victim.
Where do you live at?
Your social is being released. He was just identified for something, and that was it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Scott, you work here?
Yeah, he works.
He's my associate. That's your first time getting cut.
All right, Skyler. Hey, man. So you'll receive something in the mail.
Now, I can tell you, again, it's Washington. I get it. Here's what the PD chief told Jason Rantz. It says, we are reviewing the incident involving the signature gatherer at Walmart. We will be meeting with officers at the Covington PD to ensure we appropriately respond to this type of incident in the future. Although the suspect was not booked, the suspect in this incident was charged with theft in third degree and malicious mischief in the third degree, and those charges were submitted to the prosecutor that same day. Like, even if it wasn't that big of a deal, and I'm not telling you officers should scare you, but if you do something wrong, you should be scared. It says you're illegal. You should be looking over your shoulder. Just letting you know. If I commit a crime, it shouldn't be like, here, we're going to do a little photo op. What's going to stop me from doing that again? And I just thought it was crazy. The poor guy that actually called the police had no idea any of this was going on. I'm glad somebody got the body cam footage. You guys know that when we did the body cam footage from the Tesla protest with Officer Chadwick of Fresno PD, and he was very unprofessional and rude. When we requested body cam, and I'm still working on that. I got the paperwork over here. I haven't had time to go down to the city. But when I will, I promise you, I'll make that a point. But they refused to release the body cam footage. Imagine that. How about that? President Donald Trump, Prime Minister of Canada, meet this morning, and we got some epic videos from this. Epic. Take a look at this. This is Mark Carney.
President Trump, sir, your message to Israel on the second anniversary of the Hamas attack. Thank you very much. You talked about ending the.
So that was him meeting. Now we get into the meat and potatoes. There was so many funny things said and just so much truth. This was President Trump, and then we'll get into some of the laughter in the room, and we'll get into that and talk about it because I think it's hilarious. But listen to this.
Prime Minister of Canada, Mark Carney, who I have made very popular. He's an extremely popular Prime Minister, and I'm very honored to do it because I liked him right from the beginning. I've liked him, and we've had a good relationship. We have some natural conflict, but we will probably work that out. But we've had a very strong relationship, and your hosting of the various countries that showed up, that was a beautiful job you did, and I appreciate it very much. We're going to be talking about trade. We're going to be talking about a lot of different things. We'll certainly be talking about Gaza. We're in very serious negotiations to, I guess you could say, depending on the way you count, 3,000 years. You could say 500 years. You could say, but that it's been raging for a long time. And I think there's a possibility that we could have peace in the Middle East. It's something even beyond the Gaza situation. We want a release of the hostages immediately, et cetera. And so our team is over there now. Another team just left, and other countries, literally every country in the world has supported the plan.
Yep.
I don't think there's anybody that hasn't, actually, not that I've seen. But there's a real chance that we could do something. So you may have some questions on that later. But in the meantime, we'll spend some time and we'll make some deals and we'll do some things that are good for both of our countries. And Mark, it's an honor to have you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr.
Now, remember how all this started once Trump was in president. there was a different prime minister involved, and there was a lot of talk about making Canada the 51st state, and we ran with it. We had fun with it. We know Trump. We understand Trump. I want you to listen to how things have changed. Listen to Mark Carney, to President Trump. I want you to listen to the accolades here and listen to what he says. He's a transformative president with the economy and everything else going around. Just like ultimate respect for Trump. Funny how things change. Listen.
Honor to have you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. If I may, you kindly hosted me and some of my colleagues a few months ago, and I said at the time, you are a transformative president. And since then, the transformation in the economy, unprecedented commitments of NATO partners to defense spending, peace from India, Pakistan through to Azerbaijan, Armenia, disabling Iran as a force of terror. And now, and I'm running out of time, but this is many respects the most important.
The merger of Canada and the United States.
Listen to that. He says the merger of Canada and the United States. Look at his laugh.
In many respects the most important.
The merger of Canada and the United States.
That wasn't where I was going. On this.
Listen to that again. And he goes, I'm only kidding.
But this is many respects the most important.
The merger of Canada and the United States.
That wasn't where I was going.
I just love that. Man, to have somebody with a personality in the White House, and like I've said numerous times, Trump's an absolute comedian. He loves to have fun. He's always joking. He's always joking. And I guess you have to if you work that hard, right? But I just thought that was epic. That was absolutely epic. But he's like the merger of Canada and the United States. Remember how when Trump said that, how that's all the influencers on the left that are paid by the DNC, CNN, MSNBC. He wants to annex Canada. But and now here he is, and what is it? It's October, so 8.5 months later. Just absolutely epic. And then again,
Might have been good
people
policy.
are starting to understand. It's not that Trump doesn't like Canada. It's the fact that Trump loves the United States of America. He was elected as an America First president. That's what his policies are doing. And he's not shy about saying that. Take a listen to this.
When it comes to trade, the United States was always giving everything. They gave everything to Canada. They would let car companies leave here and go to Canada. But that hurts the United States. And, other presidents didn't see that. They weren't business oriented. They might have been good politicians in some cases, not in all cases. They were bad at both. But it's a very natural conflict, and it's something that we're working on.
Talking about not only tariffs, but just how we gave the farm away. It's just kind of like as a Republican, back when I first started doing live streams and I started watching I would stay up at night, most boring life in the world, watching hearings on Capitol Hill. I still do it, but back then that was far from what my fun was. And I was like, how come every time they say bipartisan, that means the Democrats win and the Republicans give up something? It's not bipartisan. But both Democrats and Republicans say we had a bipartisan agreement. I'm like, we didn't get nothing on the conservative side. How is this bipartisan? And it's kind of goes into what Trump is saying right there. And then he says it a little further in this one here. Take
Tariffs.
a look at this.
We didn't charge them. Look, we're the king of being screwed by tariffs, just so you understand. And I'm not talking about with Canada. I'm talking about with countries all over the world. When you look at Europe, when you look at China, when you look at all of the almost every country charge the U.S., we didn't charge them. Because we were led by stupid people in many cases. Stupid people. They took advantage of our country. They're not taking advantage of us anymore. You know, if you looked at European Union, they're all my friends. I don't blame them. I blame our presidents. I blame our past presidents and, you know, business leaders. But we are the king of countries that have been taken advantage of for many, many years. We've been paying trillions and trillions of dollars and receiving nothing at all. As an example, prior to the deal with Europe, where they pay a lot of money, but they're happy and I'm happy. The deal was good. It's a fair deal, but it wasn't fair. You couldn't put a car into Europe. You couldn't sell your agriculture into Europe. You couldn't do anything. And now we have it so that it's open. We charge them tariffs. We didn't charge them tariffs a car. They charge us tremendous. I said to Angela Merkel once, I said, how many cars have gone to Germany from the United States? And she said, well, I don't believe any. And I said, you're right. You're right. Well, that doesn't happen anymore. And they're paying a fair amount. It's just a fair amount. It's not, I could ask for much more. It's a fair amount. But the United States now is using the same thing that they've used on us. And I just can't believe it's taken presidents so long to do this. And again, we're going to treat people fairly. We're going to especially treat Canada fairly. But I can't believe it's taken so long where we get charged and don't charge them. Japan was a good example. We made a deal with Japan. You saw that, Mark, a deal with Japan. It's a much different deal than we've had in the past. But they would send us millions of cars, no charge. We weren't allowed to send them cars. We sent them no cars. I doubt you had one car go into Japan because we were restricted. They didn't want our cars. Same thing with Europe, same thing with other places. So now all we do now is fairness. But fairness leads us to the most successful country there's ever been.
So true, so true. A lot of people don't get that. A lot of people, especially on the Democrat side, they love being generous with other people's money. They love being generous to other countries, people that aren't willing to work. They're not generous with their own money, but they love the fact that there's not true equality. And that's what Trump wants when they use that word equality. Well, it should be equal. If you're charging me a 20% tariff and not allowing your cars in, I'm going to charge you a 20% tariff and not allow your cars into my country, right? And when that starts happening and people start panicking, all of a sudden they want to come to the table and do an agreement. And you've seen the money that we have made as far as this country off the tariffs. Listen to this. He goes off on some of the libtards right here. I thought this was great. I love listening to Trump talk, especially from these meetings here.
To lose. They have a party that's out of control. They have no leader. Nobody knows who the leader is. I look at people with very low IQs like Crockett, this woman Crockett. I never met her, but she's a low IQ individual. I look at AOC talking about how if they want to negotiate, they can come to my office. She's not in that position to do that. And who the hell is she to say that? And then I watch Nancy Pelosi not knowing what to do. I watch their leadership. Look, Schumer is petrified of primary because he's not going to win probably against anybody in a primary. You know, Schumer did the right thing.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Calling him out. Definitely something worth. And then here's another funny one from President Trump, the comedian himself. Take a listen to this.
Then what's holding things up? If he's a great man and you want to do a deal with Canada, why aren't you?
Because I want to be a great man, too.
He says, well, if you say the prime minister's a great man and you want to do a deal with Canada, why don't you? And listen to President Trump.
So then what's holding things up? If he's a great man and you want to do a deal with Canada, why aren't you?
Because I want to be a great man, too.
Look at the prime minister.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. That could have been. I think you got that. That could have been.
I just look at this response, guys.
Because I want to be a great man, too. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. That That could have been.
He's enjoying this.
That could have been. Thank you very much.
He's enjoying this a little too much. And of course, when he's smiling and he's having a good time, you know, there's others just melting down. There's people like throwing back the Hot Pocket to their mom, you know, from the basement. I don't want to eat today. Trump's having a good day. What else do we got here? He speaks again on the Insurrection Act. We talked about this yesterday. We talked about you have the Chicago mayor who did anti-free zone, anti-ICE zones where our federal law enforcement can't enforce our immigration laws. You have Pritzker saying that when these ICE agents are attacked or blocked in, that it's all propaganda. You have Gavin Newsom just wanting to sue President Trump for anything and everything under the sun. And there might be a time and a place for, if ever in my life, if there was a time or a place for the Insurrection Act, I think we're getting there. And I think it's going to get worse as we see these attacks on law enforcement. I have a bad feeling we're going to have an ICE agent or a Border Patrol agent murdered in Chicago. I don't want that. I pray that doesn't happen. We don't need that type of unrest. But with the Democrats' rhetoric, you can expect nothing less.
Can we talk about Portland for a second? Are you planning to invoke the Insurrection Act? And that would be, a very long-standing law that's been on the books.
Yeah, well, it's been invoked before, as you know. It's a great city where there's a lot of crime. And if the governor can't do the job, we'll do the job. It's all very simple. They probably had 50 murders in Chicago over the last 5, 6, 7 months. Many people were shot. And then the governor gets up and he says, well, we can handle it. They can't handle it. They don't know what they're doing. The mayor is grossly incompetent. He's at a 4% approval rating in Chicago. He's at a 4%, lowest approval rating, lower than even de Blasio had, which is hard to believe in New York. I thought de Blasio would always maintain that record, but the Chicago guy is even lower. Where people would come from Canada, people would come from other places and end up getting lower than even de Blasio had, which is hard to believe in New York. I thought de Blasio would always maintain that record, but the Chicago guy is even lower. So I think that we want safe cities. If you look at D.C., you would right now, Mark, you could go out, take your family out to dinner. You could walk right down the middle of the street. There is no crime in D.C. When I got here, this place was a raging hellhole where people would come from Canada, people would come from other places and end up getting shot. Nobody's being shot. The National Guard's been unbelievable. I mean, they are strong, tough guys. You know.
So, again, we've been talking about the Insurrection Act, and then we're going to get into some other stuff regarding Trump right now. I don't think they want to admit it, but there's some epic stuff going on. Hold on, let me check something really quick. I was checking. Oh, okay. I had to check that. Do not forget, guys, the light up Trump hat could be yours. We got a raffle going on. And it'll also, now we are leaving for Portland tomorrow. We're picking up the rental car this afternoon, thanks to old Uncle Bill helping us out with that rental car. But we're going to need gas, food, and lodging while we're in Portland. And so hopefully we have an exciting week down there. If you guys want to jump into the raffle, you have probably just a couple hours. We're going to be doing the raffle in the next show. So if you guys want to jump in, I would appreciate it. Thank you very much. We'll get it shipped out before. If I don't get it shipped out, my shipping manager will get it shipped out tomorrow afternoon, and that'll be on the way to you. So every $10 donation gets you 1 entry. If you do $30, that's 3 entries. $50, that's 5 entries. And you can do it at Venmo at Oreo Josh, Cash App, $Oreo Army, GiveSendGo.com /Oreo 2024. And as always, if you do mobile or online banking, our Zelle address is on our website. You could go to theoreoexpress.com, click the donate now button on the homepage and you will see our Zelle link on there, our Zelle address. So appreciate you all. Thank you so much. I can't do it without you. And once again, we will be on the road tomorrow afternoon, heading 12-hour drive north. How about this? Listen to CNN. They just admitted that President Trump is carrying out his promises for the American people. I want you to watch this really quick.
Trump, you go back to October of 2024, 44% of the American public viewed him favorably. Now, despite everything, look at this, 43%, which is well within the margin of error of that 44%. And here's the thing to keep in mind. This was good enough to get Trump reelected back in 2024. And Donald Trump is basically at the same point here right now, which I think would surprise a lot of folks, especially a lot of folks on the left who very much disagree with a lot of what Donald Trump has done.
But what do you see is underneath that and driving that? Why is he basically the same?
Okay, to quote the esteemed caller, Dennis Green, the former head coach in the National Football League, Donald Trump is who the voters thought he was. What are we talking about here? Well, is Trump doing what he promised in the 2024 campaign? Yes, 52%. The majority of Americans say that Donald Trump is doing what he promised compared to 48% who said no. So what essentially is going on here is the voters expected all of this from Donald Trump. The majority did. And that is why his favorable rating, simply put, has not really moved all that much compared to where it was a year ago. Trump is basically doing what the American people thought that he was going to do. Indeed, if you look at the numbers, Trump has basically the steadiest favorable rating this much through a presidency of any president on record. And it's basically where he was a year ago, good enough to get him reelected.
Man, the Chuck Schumer and everybody's, Trump's approval numbers are falling, everything else. I think this was beautiful. Those that elected him elected to do what he's doing right now. And Democrats hate this. They are melting down. They've done everything. You've had CNN, MSNBC, ABC, CBS, all these fake legacy media try to give him 98% negative coverage. Everything he does is wrong. I mean, these freaking tariffs. They went after the tariffs. Oh, you're not going to do it. The only thing they can find right now that is actually up because of tariffs is coffee. That's it. It's the only thing they can find. Anything else? Now, there is some dollar store items where they would buy a box of 1,000 pieces of something, some little gizmo or gadget. And for that, they'd pay $100. They'd pay 10 cents a piece for that. Now they're paying 12 cents a piece for that. You're still getting it for $1.25 because remember, the dollar store is no longer a dollar store. Under President Biden, it went to the $1.25 store. But look at this. Look at this. They have to admit it. I could listen to that on repeat. But that's not it. You got some that say, oh, Trump's too old to do any of this. Trump can't do this. When does Trump work? I want you to listen to Caitlin Collins on CNN right now. And she went on a podcast and listen to how reporters dread on going to overseas trip with President Trump. Listen, just listen.
As I had this source who said,
"You don't sleep much."
Not really.
And nor does
you?
You don't sleep much.
Not really.
And nor does President
you?
Trump. No, I know. I slept 4 hours last night.
And you feel fine? Okay, that's
I'm on this is my fourth cup of coffee.
4 hours is nuts. 4 hours is
I got
Trump
4
level.
hours. Yeah. And the night before was like 6. Before that was like 7. So it varies. But is that what he sleeps? Like 4 hours?
He does not sleep.
Yeah, I did Fox and Friends finance segment, and it was just on Gen Z's and finance. And one of the executive producers we just want to show you around, and they showed me the control room. And I said, how have things been in the control room as of late? She's like, none of us are sleeping because the president doesn't sleep. We're all working 2 times right now. Do you feel that way?
I was just talking to someone about this because we wrote this story on what traveling with him is like in the first term, because I had this source who said, you never want to be on Air Force One on a trip. And I said, why? You'd think you want to be in the axis of power close to Trump. he doesn't sleep on these trips. And like, you're going to Asia or something, and that's kind of the only time you're going to sleep before you go on this trip.
Yeah.
But Trump is just always up and talking, and he'll like have them go wake staff up if they're asleep because he wants to talk to them.
Huh.
And so we have this big trip to Asia coming up, and you're not going to sleep on that flight.
A little bit different from Joe Biden, where they didn't see Joe Biden on those trips. That is hilarious, guys, because they've tried to say, oh, Trump wasn't seen this weekend because he's ill or he's sick or he's dying and all this. And these people are dreading going on trips because 24/7 the man is working. I love it. He's always working for you, the American people. And again, they admit it without wanting to. That is beautiful. I just love that. How about Attorney General Ken Paxton? God bless Ken Paxton. He put this out today, and when we're going to get into some crime stuff and some stuff going on throughout the country, says, I'm launching undercover operations to infiltrate and uproot leftist terrorist cells in Texas. Leftist political terrorism is a clear and present danger. There can be no compromise with those who want us dead. And this is his press release for that. Let's see. And it says, in response to the political assassination of a national hero, Charlie Kirk, and a disturbing rise of leftist violence across the country, Attorney General Ken Paxton has launched undercover investigations into various groups affiliated with left-wing political violence known to be operating in Texas. I could think of a couple while we were down there. I mean, think about some of the NGOs that are tied to bigger leftist organizations that were doing human smuggling, human trafficking into this country while we were down there in Texas. This could be good, guys. Now we're going to get into Pam Bondi. Again, I'm not even, to be honest with you, I'm not even lukewarm with her right now. I think she has a lot of some one-liners, I guess you could say. But until I see people in handcuffs, that's all I care about. I told you guys I'd give her so much time. I did. That time has passed. And it's frustrating. I do support her, but it's just kind of frustrating that just yesterday, we find out that Joe Biden's weaponization of the government spied on, 7 U.S. senators and I think a congressman. Listen to some of this. She did have some good responses today in the hearing on Capitol Hill. Take a listen.
Your city has a murder rate 5 times higher than New York's. 571 homicides. If you were serious about protecting your people, you would be asking this administration for help. You're saying that we're coming into your state and your city. We're there to help make America safe and Illinois safe, whether or not you want to. Your city has a murder rate 5 times higher than New York.
And I appreciate when they call them out for their hypocrisy, and she does that a couple times.
So the National Guard is on the way right now. Is
Dick Durbin right here? Take a listen to this.
The National Guard is on the way right now as we speak. Oh, by the way, so is Director Patel and Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche. You're sitting here grilling me, and they're on their way to Chicago to keep your state safe.
Madam Attorney General, it's my job to grill you.
My job to grill you. Well, she just said it. And Kash Patel is on his way to Chicago right now. Kristi Noem is going to be in Portland today. I think she's already landed. She'll be holding a press conference. We'll cover that on our next show later today. And don't forget, the raffle will be in the next show. So if you want to get in, every $10 donation gets you 1 entry. And we It'll help us out because we're going to Portland tomorrow. Probably won't make it to Portland tomorrow, but we're going to start driving tomorrow. And old Uncle Bill gifted 5 subscriptions to the Oreo Express. Thank you, old Uncle Bill. Listen to this one. This is Senator Blumenthal. This is epic. This is epic. I love, again, the hypocrites of the world.
I do have a question. In the merger that took place,
Which
that was
merger? You've
approved
listed many.
involving American Express, GBT. I understand that Brian Ballard, longtime backer and head of the law firm where you worked, was instrumental in lobbying the Justice Department to drop that lawsuit. It was dismissed, so it's not subject to a court review. What conversations did you have with Mr. Ballard?
Senator Blumenthal, I cannot believe that you would accuse me of impropriety when you lied about your military service.
I am
you
not
lied.
asking
You admitted you
I am
lied
not
to be
accusing you
elected
of
a U.S. senator.
impropriety.
You
I'm asking
lied.
you
How
about
dare you? I'm a
conversations
career prosecutor.
with
Don't
Mr.
you
Ballard,
ever challenge my integrity.
had
I have
apparently-
abided by every ethics standard. Do not question my ability to be fair and impartial as Attorney General. And anything
You'll
with
answer that
my
question to
former
another of my
firm,
colleagues.
Ballard.
I do love it because we don't get to call these people out very often. They don't sit in the hot seat. So those people that sit in the hot seat gets to call them out. Lied in his military service to be elected. And a big shout out to Krista. Thank you, Krista, for the Venmo. Appreciate you entering. And Krista is going to donate, if she wins, donate the hat back for another raffle if she wins. So thank you. She always does that. We appreciate her being part of the Oreo Army and keeping us on the road. Let's see. What else do we have here? How about Pam Bondi on Senator Coons? Take a listen to this.
Because he views them as opponents bravely.
Oh, I just love it. I just love it sometimes. I would love to be in one. I'm going to have to go to one of these hearings.
Concerned about what is no longer a hypothetical question, which you refused to answer in your confirmation hearing, but is a real question about when or if the president demands you prosecute individuals because he views them as opponents or enemies, what you will do and what your limiting standard is, because the recent episode around the indictment of James Carney left me very concerned about the direction of the department.
We're a minute and a half over, Senator Chairman. May I answer?
Yes.
Senator Coons, as you have stated in the past, no one is above the law. And James Comey is a pending case right now. It's a pending indictment. He was indicted by one of the most liberal grand juries in the country, by our U.S. Attorney Lindsay Halligan, right here in Virginia. And it's a pending case, so I'm not going to discuss the facts of a pending case.
But you can understand the alarm about the circumstances of the indictment immediately following President Trump demanding that you take action to indict and prosecute that specific individual. Thank
you. You said it before, nobody is above the law, but then when it comes to a Democrat that's being busted for something, seems a little different there, doesn't it? Doesn't feel as good. Doesn't feel as good. How about this one with Senator Ted Cruz? Listen to this. Because we found out a lot about some investigations, some weaponization yesterday from the Biden administration.
Said that the attempted murderer was transgender. And because he identifies as transgender, apparently it's okay to try to kill a Supreme Court justice if your politics are sufficiently woke. Now, I know you have said the Department of Justice is going to appeal, and you absolutely should. I called this week, I believe this judge should be impeached because the judge has demonstrated she is completely unfit to be a federal judge. And what is your view of the justice of this sentence of just 8 years for the attempted murder of a Supreme Court justice?
I was speaking with our prosecutor, Miss Mal, who did an incredible job on this case. She did an incredible job. And yet, this judge gave 8 years. And the judge also would not refer to the defendant by his biological name, referred to him by the pronouns, and was concerned about the treatment that this individual would get regarding a sex change while in prison. And we are appealing that sentence. I immediately said we are appealing that sentence.
Thank you.
That has to do with the attempted assassination of Justice Kavanaugh. We covered that last week, where they asked for leniency because the person's a trans. Shouldn't be any surprise to you. A lot of these assassination attempts, the fire bombings on Tesla dealerships, the assaults on the protesters outside the Portland ICE facility, kind of all fall in line there, guys. Don't take a rocket scientist to figure that out. LA Forgiven says, can you post the links on here for easy clicks to donate? Also, what goes to the raffle? Everything goes to the raffle, so which funds us for this trip. So if you do $20, you'll get 2 entries. If you do $1,000, you'll get 100 entries. That's the way it works. And the links will come up there probably like every 10 minutes, I believe. Let's see if they've came up lately. I can repost it. Maybe they're not coming up. I'll have to double check that. Yeah, Nightbot right here will jump in there and put that. Granola Josh, I'd love to take you to dinner if you have time, wherever you pass through Medford. In and out are your choice. All right, Nola. Nola's in, and we could probably do that. I have to look at the map, maybe on the way there or the way home. Thank you, Nola. Appreciate you. Let's see what else we got here. I think there was one more, two more. Senator Josh Hawley. Now, this is the one about the political enemies from Joe Biden. Take a look at this.
Manner of things and the current president. I've also heard them said, and I just wrote it down because I wanted to be sure I heard it correctly. I've heard them say that Joe Biden never targeted his political enemies. Joe Biden never directed his attorney general to target his political opponents. That's interesting, because I could have sworn that yesterday we learned that the FBI tapped my phone. Let's look at it. We've got a list. Tap my phone, tapped Lindsey Graham's phone, tapped Marsha Blackburn's phone, tapped 5 other phones of United States senators. Gee, it sure looks like targeting political opponents to me, and yet I haven't heard a word from that side of the dais about any concern whatsoever. We've got nothing but concerns today, but no concern at all for a Justice Department that is tapping the phones of sitting United States senators because who knows why. They don't like them. They're members of the opposition party. They're Republicans. They're conservatives. You've seen this document, Attorney General Bondi. Well, what was going on here? Who ordered this? Who ordered the tapping of the phones of United States senators?
Senator Hawley, I cannot discuss the details of that right now for very good reason.
You're going to do a thorough investigation into this, I trust. Is that correct?
We will be looking at all aspects of this, and I have talked.
Oh, sorry.
Republicans, they're conservative.
Senator Hawley, I cannot discuss the details of that right now for very good reason.
You're going to do a thorough investigation into this, I trust. Is that correct?
We will be looking at all aspects of this, and I have talked to Director Patel at length about
And
this.
you're going to figure out who was involved in this, who signed off on.
Okay, that's great. That's great. But what do I want to know? I want to know who's going to jail. That's all that should matter at this point anymore. And that one was a double take. And listen to this one. When it comes to the Democrats wanting to demask federal agents while their foot soldiers, Antifa, are out there with gas masks, all covered up, all wearing black blocks so they can't be identified. Take a listen to this.
hundreds of organized rioters, Senator Lee, are showing up where our ICE officers are. And as you know, they have fireworks, they have gas masks. You know, they don't want our officers to be protected with their identity, yet they're wearing gas masks, they're wearing goggles. And they're
So it's okay
ramming
for them to
cars.
be safe. It's okay for Antifa to be safe. It's okay for those doing the bidding of international violent drug cartels to be safe. But heaven forbid, our ICE officers should be safe.
Calling out the hypocrisy, right, guys? I mean, this area that we're in right now is just absolutely insane. And this was listen to Senator John Kennedy. We love hearing him. He's ticked off about what he found out yesterday about the FBI, and listen to what he says to Chuck Grassley here.
Them a certain period of time?
I have not given them a certain period of time. I'll discuss that matter with my staff and see if that needs to be done.
Okay, if civil suits are filed against the perpetrators at the FBI, will that facilitate your investigation?
Well, what's the question again?
If the 8 senators who were spied upon sue the hell out of the Department of Justice and the perpetrators involved, will that facilitate their investigation and or yours? I guess what I'm getting to is I don't understand why we don't have a separate hearing. I find this breathtaking.
Yeah. It's just been 24 hours since the FBI investigated on it. Please give me an opportunity to sort through all this.
Fair enough. I just don't want to wait 24 years to get an answer.
Yeah. We do have an active investigation going on through my...
I don't want to wait 24 years either. And I don't just want to know, well, here's the names. You guys know it now. All right, let's get into some crime, some stuff going on at the ICE facilities, other stuff like that. Over the weekend, you had 2 domestic terrorists ram ICE vehicles, put their lives in danger, try to obstruct federal officers. Well, you're not going to believe this. They had court today. What do you think happened? Listen to this. This is just insane.
Judy, the judge in this case basically said that neither Miramar Martinez nor Anthony Reese pose a flight risk, and so she has ordered them freed pending their trial. Now, their cases have been jointed together in the same legal complaint, even though both were driving separate vehicles on the day in question, and according to their friends and family, they do not know each other. In court today, prosecutors described Miramar Martinez and Anthony Reese's actions as extremely dangerous and extremely reckless, saying the two had been following the Border Patrol agent's vehicle for 20 to 30 minutes before the alleged ramming took place Saturday morning, adding that the defendants weren't in the wrong place at the wrong time. The complaint, filed in court, alleges that on October 4th, 3 Border Patrol officers acting as security detail were driving a silver Chevy Tahoe in Oak Lawn when they were aggressively pursued by what is described as a convoy of civilian vehicles. That convoy, alleges the complaint, was attempting to box them in when they were struck, first by Martinez, then moments later by Ruiz, near 39th Place in Kedzie. Martinez was shot 5 times by agents, then arrested at a repair shop a mile away, while Reese was arrested at a gas station nearby. The criminal complaint, including photos of the CBP-driven vehicle, along with photos of both Martinez's and Reese's vehicles, with damage they say is consistent with the ramming. Now, in court today, defense attorneys for both Martinez and Reese disputed the government's version of events, but since this was a detention hearing, they mostly limited themselves to arguing why their respective clients should be released, with Martinez's attorney saying that she is still recovering from the injuries from those 5 gunshot wounds.
You can obstruct. I mean, that's an insurrection act. That's this is why we're going to get to this point where there's so many radical judges out there. Imagine if me and Mike, Big Mike or Roberto seen law enforcement operations. We followed them for 20, 30 minutes and we rammed their vehicles. You think they would let us out of jail the next week? No, not even a week. The same week. This is insane. We're going to be following up on that. And how about this one? An Latin Kings street gang member, Juan Espinoza Martinez, has been arrested after he allegedly sent out a Snapchat message putting a $10,000 bounty to kill Border Patrol Chief Gregory Bovino and a $2,000 bounty for any information leading to his kidnapping. Take a look at this. I mean, these cartels, these gangs, these people that thrive off illegal aliens. Look at this. This is crazy.
Bounty that was released. There's a bounty that was released. Juan Espinoza Martinez. They got his screenshot off his Snapchat because he thought it was just going to disappear. Now, but he was releasing that he was willing to pay, and he works for the cartel, of course, $2K on info on these agents, and then $10K if you take them down. Now, what he means by taking them down is assassinating them.
Yeah, you heard the governor talk about Greg Bovino. If you don't know who he is, he's the chief patrol agent. And DHS is saying that this guy who you're talking about, Lawrence, allegedly placed a bounty on the commander at large of the Border Patrol chief, and that's Gregory Bovino. He was on with Sean last night talking about this issue. He says that this guy, this 37-year-old Chicago resident, Juan Espinoza, was charged with murder for hire. He was arrested yesterday. He is a ranking member of the Latin Kings, which is a gang known for violent crimes and drug trafficking across Chicago. He's from Mexico. He came to the United States illegally. And yes, on Snapchat, he was offering thousands of dollars if you take down Bovino. And he put a picture of Bovino on there.
Right, there you go. And by the way, who are the thugs? According to the governor, the thugs are the ones wearing bulletproof vests right there. And the guy in the middle, Latin Kings, I guess the governor's fine with that because these guys are running wild throughout Chicago, are really thriving for the last 20 years, but they don't want any help. Matt Scorpino says this, targeting senior federal officers is a brazen and direct assault on the rule of law, and HSI will remain persistent, dismantling violent gangs like the Latin Kings that threaten public safety.
I mean, these people have been able to operate in Chicago with permission from the governor, from permission from the mayor. We don't need your help. We don't need to take these gangs down. And thankfully, God bless Donald Trump. Thankfully, he is putting the American citizens first. Just absolutely ridiculous what we're watching here. Now, speaking of Chicago and the mayor, Brandon Johnson, this was posted by ID.
They feel that
this was a press conference that the mayor did. And listen to his own staff refuse to let him answer a question when it's a very relevant questions to the timeline we're in. Listen.
Real Chicagoans that I talk to, that I communicate with, mostly black and brown, actually, tell me that you don't seem to know the difference between illegal aliens and real Chicago citizens. They feel that you are siding with the illegal aliens over them in their communities. And sadly,
William, let's get to the question.
Let's get to the question. The real question is simply this. I don't know how to make it any more direct. An illegal alien from Nicaragua grabbed a woman on the north side last week, bashed her head into the sidewalk, knocked her unconscious, and raped her. If that had been your wife, Stacey.
Okay, all right, we're not going to answer it. Thank you. Thanks, William.
All right. Would you want ICE to deport her?
All right. Let's move on.
Yes or no?
Let's move on.
Answer the question as a man, not as mayor, but as a man. Would you want
thanks. Thank you.
ICE to deport that rapist?
All right. Taman?
Okay,
Mayor.
That's the answer. That's the answer for real Chicago.
Mayor, sorry for being.
What an absolute coward, folks. What an absolute coward. Can't answer the question because he knows how bad it's going to make him look. I mean, not that he can look much worse. Again, woman assaulted, head smashed in, raped. It was an illegal alien. And he asked the mayor, would you want that person deported? Oh, we can't answer that question. We can't answer that question. We're not talking about this. Now, we've had a lot of Democrats say that illegal aliens get none of your tax dollars. We said this for a long time, and we kept blowing it up. From the NGOs that imported them and did the human trafficking to get them in your communities, all the way to the food, hotel, and healthcare. Listen to this. It says in 2023, NBC reported that 25% of all patients at New York City public hospitals were illegal aliens. Today, NBC reports that illegal aliens do not receive free healthcare. I love this. Take a listen.
The border crisis surging. Officials telling NBC News there were over 200,000 illegal crossings at the southern border last month, and a record 3 million migrants crossed the border in the last year. Now, a new warning 1,000 miles away in New York City, where officials tell us resources are overwhelmed. Across public hospitals in New York City, a quarter of the patients are now migrants. Over the last year, nearly 30,000 visits by migrants and 300 new babies born to migrant moms. Staff here at Bellevue Hospital tell us they're eager to help, but the numbers are tough. The border crisis surging. Officials telling NBC News there were over 200,000.
30,000 people went to the hospital, 300 babies born. Do you think they just pulled out cash and paid for it right there? Honest question. Honest question. This is what we are trying to eliminate. You can't break into a country and live off the taxpayer. You got to get off the tit of the taxpayer. If there's people that want to migrate here, there's people that need help. We are the most generous country in the world. But these people, the same people that were getting to American soil and raising the flag of the country they just fled, singing that country's national anthem, not somebody I want in my country.
Illegal crossings at the southern border last.
Well, that didn't happen. Really? Go look at our videos. Go look at our videos. We were there. Let's see. How about this one? This was on Fox. I want you to take a listen to this. Where does the illegals get all their money? It's not just healthcare, but take a look at this.
Over the past couple of days has been about whether or not illegal immigrants are receiving health care. That's key, not insurance. Illegal immigrants are receiving health care at the emergency room through federal subsidies and reimbursements to hospitals for treating illegal immigrants in the emergency room. But that's just one way that welfare goes to illegal immigrants. Take a look at this chart. This shows households receiving welfare, and it focuses in on the head of the household. If the head of the household, shown in yellow, is an illegal immigrant, well, this, by the way, signifies U.S.-born immigrants. This shows how much you're receiving. But if the head of the household is an illegal immigrant, marked in orange, you can see how much more they are receiving. If someone in that household is illegal, more government services, from Medicaid to food to cash to housing, goes towards that household. The argument over healthcare is only one part of what we're doing to fund and incentivize illegal immigration.
You look at that. You look at that orange. The highest number in all but housing went to illegal-headed households. Gosh. I want that chart up on Capitol Hill, and I want it to stay there. So last night, we did a quick little live stream showing you what was going on down there in Portland. We are heading to Portland tomorrow. I got a field trip with Caden in the morning, and then after that field trip, I'm going to come home, load up all this equipment, and head down there. And I want to say thank you to everybody who helps us out and donates. It's a blessing to be part of this Oreo army that I'm a part of. But when they really got triggered during what we were watching was when an Israeli flag came out. Take a look at this. We're not going to spend a whole lot of time. I just thought it was... USA! 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 the other side was, you couldn't hear it there, but free Palestine. Most of them would be beheaded or thrown off a building if they made it to Palestine. And again, DHS Secretary Kristi Noem will be arriving in Portland today to issue remarks on the ongoing violence. There's also a lot of federal agents that had landed today in Portland. So you're going to see an increase of federal agents when we get down there. Hopefully everything, just pray for safety, a hedge of protection. It's going to be fun. So we will be leaving. And again, we got only a couple of hours till we do the raffle for the hat. Let me see if I turn it off so you guys can see it last night. This hat here, got a brand new one right here. Charger and instructions are included. It's pretty simple. You hit a button and you plug it in to charge it. But if you guys want to get in and help us with our trip to Portland, we appreciate it. You can do it at Venmo at Oreo Josh, Cash App, $Oreo Army, GiveSendGo.com/Oreo 2024. Every $10 donation gets you in for one entry. If you do $30, that's 3 entries. Our Zelle link will be provided right here. If you do mobile or online banking, it's all going to come up at on the exit right now. And again, we will see you guys in about 3.5 hours for our next show where we will do the raffle. Want to thank everybody for getting in. And here comes the donation links. Have a blessed afternoon, guys. We'll see you shortly.
The Oreo Express, where truth don't hide and we don't second guess. Unapologetic, we're bold and we're loud, shining light on the left shady crowd. Oreo Express, rolling down the track, exposing the lies, ain't no turning back. Conservative fire, we're speaking the truth. At Oreo Express, this one's for you. So grab your boots, let's take a stand for freedom, faith, and the heart of this land. Oreo Express, let's go, let's go. So grab your boots, let's take a stand for freedom, faith, and the heart of this land.